Did you have any mates in that Chelsea team?
No.
So was there any part of you that felt sorry for them at the full-time whistle?
No. Obviously, whoever I told not to switch off with Lampard, he didn't listen. It's seconds from thinking it's gone to your mindset changing straight away. Hold on, this is our night.
So, Ryan, shall we have a look at what went down in a couple of big United games?
Yeah.
Right, let's start with this one then. Man United against Barca, 2008. What was the confidence like coming into this one?
Yeah, confidence was good. Obviously, you see by the team, got some really good players, but against a top quality team as well, who you can't lose your concentration. I think that was the big thing about this night, just keeping your concentration, and it's whoever produced that bit of magic or potentially made a mistake, the other team would go through.
Do you call this the best ever Man United side?
I always say 99, but I think this team has definitely got an argument because of the players that were in there. It was probably more of an international European feel with the players that we had. You know, the likes of Edwin, who's obviously been at Ajax. You had Patrice being at other clubs. The likes of Cristiano, Tevez, Owen Hargreaves had come from Bayern. So a lot more probably European experience rather than the 99 team. And
so why do you generally see 99 as just a little bit?
Just because of what they achieved. You know, they achieved the treble. But, you know, I wouldn't have a big argument with someone who would say, no, this is the better team.
It's a good lineup when you see it there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and also strength in depth. So we had huge strength in depth. But like I say, we had players, you know, Rooney and Tevez, who could defend from the front, street fighters, and then you had the likes of Ronaldo, obviously Scholes, and then such a good backline as well with players who were potentially the best in the world in the position at the time. Vidic, Ferdinand, Evra, Edwin, all players who use an argument they were the best players at that particular time in European football.
And we'll see here Messi kind of setting the tone early on. Did Sir Alex have special plans for him?
Well, the good thing about Messi from our point of view is he was still at the stage where he was out on the right. You know, he wasn't in the middle of the pitch, which we see now. And Patrice produced an unbelievable performance. And I think Patrice was on a yellow card. He didn't actually manage to get booked this night, playing against Messi. And
look at Scholes here, lot on Messi. In the box?
Well, he was thinking, I'm not having him stand me up and take the mick out of me. So Scholes, like he usually did, just made up his mind.
I love how nonchalantly he just stands there, just points at who's outside the box.
Yeah,
he doesn't care.
Using the experience there. But yeah, it was a game where the atmosphere was amazing, especially the last 15-20 minutes. But your concentration, like in so many big European games, had to be 100% for the 90 minutes.
And here he is, Paul doing what he does best. What a pleasure it was to play all those years with him, eh?
Yeah, it was, and that is what he was capable of. I think he's actually said since he mishit it. He didn't quite hit it. I'd be happy with a miss hit like that. But it was the one moment of magic that we needed, and Scholes could produce them moments. And you know, we got so much quality. And I think that was the thing about Cristiano. He brought players over towards him, you know, doubling up on them, and that gives space for others.
And this was the kind of team where if one person took some attention away, there were so many other threats.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's not a miss hit, come on.
I know, yeah, I'd be happy with that miss hit. But he was capable of goals like that. Top corner.
Yeah.
Well, there's no chance. But like I say, Cristiano was really important in the build-up because he drew players over towards him.
And that was early in the game. What were this Barca team like when they went a goal down? Did you sense an extra energy at that point from them?
Well, they were confident on the ball, and you know, when you go 1-0 down, or 1-0 up, sorry, then what do you do? Do you go for that extra goal, or do you become solid, hard to beat, and then try and counter-attack on the team? And once you do decide to sort of get behind the ball and make it solid, it's very hard to get the ball off them, and also very hard with the intensity when they did lose the ball to keep the ball. So we had to be really disciplined.
What instructions were you given coming on in this game?
Just to tighten it up, really, use your experience. At this stage, I was 35, obviously going a little bit more solid, bringing with Fletch coming on, and that solidity as well. So,
And how were you not starting games like this at this point? Were you quite sanguine about it because you were so experienced? Did it still hurt?
Yeah, no, I adapted to it much better than Scholesy did. Scholesy wanted to play every game, where I was in the mindset where I could come in and not play for a couple of weeks, and the manager could trust me to come in, and I'd looked after myself, and still have an effect.
And there goes the whistle. What was the emotion like at that point?
It was a huge, as you can imagine.
Look at Alex, look.
Henri, Messi, and we hadn't been in the final since '99, obviously. So it was a big relief, and obviously with the players that we had, to get past a team like that, Barcelona, give us the confidence going into the final.
I mean, at this point, you're thinking, I guess, we've knocked out Barca, this is ours now.
Yeah, you know, because we'd been so close, you never take anything for granted in European football, because you're going to come up against good players and good teams. So, of course, it gives you the confidence, but you're not taking anything for granted.
It's a sort of difficult balance, though, isn't it? Because, of course, you don't want to take anything for granted. You don't want to be accused of being overly confident. But to play a game of football at this level, in the way particularly that team played at the time, you have to have complete belief in yourself and the players around you.
Yeah, you do have belief, especially, like you said, in the players around you. When you look around that dressing room and you've got such match winners, Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo, Scholesy, and brilliant players as well at the back. And right the way through the team, you do have that confidence and belief, but also you have that many disappointments in football. You can never take anything for granted.
When you see the crowd and the celebrations, how much do you miss those nights? Have you sort of adapted as a man that no longer gets to do this as a footballer?
Yeah, I think, when you do finish, these are the games that you miss, these are the atmospheres that you do miss, because that last 10, 15 minutes, United fans were unbelievable, and they give you that extra sort of yard, whether you're feeling tired, or that bit of energy. And many games now, the stadium would be starting to empty, and you'd want to beat the traffic.
No one's left.
As you can see, everyone's still there, because it was an amazing achievement against a brilliant team, and the atmosphere was unbelievable.
It's a pleasure to sit and watch that with you, actually. I mean, it's a special night for a special club, eh?
Yeah, and like I say, they're the nights that you miss.
Right, so then we come to the final. 2008, Man United against Chelsea. Again, talk me through the mindset coming into the game. What were the sort of final messages from Sir Alex ahead of this one?
Well, it was a little bit different. Obviously, playing against a team and players that you knew so well. And obviously, you'd played already that season. So we were both very similar, with match winners, but also a lot of experience, a lot of physicality, especially throughout the spine. Yeah, it was against a very good, robust, experienced Chelsea team.
But you're even more driven to beat them because they're a fellow English side, right?
It's different. I don't know if you're more driven, it's just different. It was a different feeling because, like I say, you do know them. You've played against them more often than you would against another European opposition. But also you know their strengths, and they will know your strengths as well. So it was a weird situation. It is a weird situation whenever you come up against an English side in European football.
Not starting the game, how vocal are you in the dressing room beforehand? How much did you see your sort of role as becoming a bit of a leader off the pitch for some of these players? Yeah,
I think you do. Obviously, conscious that you need to look after yourself and be ready to come on, but also helping the players, and that was probably at this stage of my career my role to, watch out for Lampard, don't switch off, because you know that he's going to be running into the box. Likes of Drogba, you know that he's going to be physical against you, he's going to look for fouls. So reminding the players of the quality of the opposition.
And probably also savouring the moment a little bit more because, at that age, you are aware that this isn't going to last forever and you might never experience it again.
Yeah, again, there was that gap in between 99 and this game as well, so it was a big gap. So, yeah, you are savouring it, knowing that you are coming towards the end of your career and you're not going to get many opportunities like this again. So, for me, my mindset was, if you're called upon, be ready. Watch the game, watch for anything that you can see that might help you when you do come on.
Right, I want to talk to you about Ronaldo. What was he like in these biggest of big games?
Yeah, this is what separates the big players from the truly great players, turning up at the right occasions, and Cristiano does that. And he was amazing this night. And against someone as good as Essien, okay, he's not normally a right back. He was totally dominant in this game and was a constant threat all night.
You get the sense now, obviously, later in his career, both at Real and at Juve, he's become a bit of a leader. What was he like off the pitch at this stage in his career? Was he quiet?
No, it wasn't quiet. He was quiet when he first arrived at the club, but in the end, he was a joker. He was good to have around the dressing room. He was 100% probably the best professional I've ever seen in the way that he prepares himself. So in that way, really, he's a bit of a leader and someone to look up to. Whether you are a younger player or whether you are a more experienced player, to see someone at the top level with amazing talent, but also working as hard as anyone else.
How quickly did you realise just how good he was?
Well, you've seen that he was a good player, but then he just added that consistency. Once he did that, he went on to another level. And it was two careers, really. There was obviously the flying winger who would score the odd goal, and then he'd become one of the world's best ever goal scorers. Obviously, whoever I told not to switch off with Lampard, he didn't listen. But that was Frank's quality. Obviously, running into the box and being able to finish.
You see, I remember watching this game, and actually, as an English football fan, not a fan of United or of Chelsea, the equaliser was great for us because we were thinking, brilliant. We wanted a cracking game in this final, you know. Yeah,
and I think at this point we were dominant early on in the game. And then at this point, Chelsea were just starting to get on top. And they could do that with the players that they had, the experience, like some Makelele, wouldn't panic if they go 1-0 down. And of course, Frank Lampard could pop up with a goal at any time.
And then on you come. In a game like this, where it's sort of on a knife edge, how much are you thinking, right, I don't want to come on and cost the team anything here?
No, yeah, it's the opposite, really. It's coming on and how you can bring your experience, keep the ball, and create opportunities. And if you do have an opportunity, it's about finishing them.
So in your head, you want to come on and be the difference?
Yeah, and influence the game. Whether it's yourself or whether it's giving it one of them players up front who can make the difference. Yeah, but more often than not, just trying to use your experience and getting in them little pockets.
And I think this is the ref now blowing the full-time whistle, isn't it? So this is when you know the game's going on. He looks frustrated. Owen's told me since, and we'll get there in a minute, to the penalty shootout, that afterwards Ronaldo was annoyed because he'd missed the penalty. That was the thing that was on his mind the most. He was chatting to him. He's like, yeah, I know we've won it, but I missed my penalty.
Yeah, well, I've played with players like that, like Ruud van Nistelrooy, who all they think about is scoring goals. But yeah, it was surprising because before that he hadn't missed. I don't think he'd missed for. This was the sending on.
Do you get involved here?
Don't think I do. I think at this point, you don't want anyone getting sent off and making it.
You're calming people down, look.
You don't want to be around Emmanuel when he loses his head.
Now, at that moment, you're thinking, right, now, that makes a real difference.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's about now making sure that, Chelsea don't try and level.
He can't let it go, can he?
Yeah, it's about trying to not level the score and making sure that we don't make mistakes now.
Yeah.
Making sure that we finish with 11 men.
Is that a red card, though?
Well, I think when you touch the face, yeah, probably is.
You have to say that.
Yeah. I won't be happy if I got sent off.
No, I bet you wouldn't. I bet
But that's
you will.
emotions, you know. Such a experienced player like Drogba who wants to win. You know, it's them moments where you can lose your head, and that's where, you know, you want to bring that experience.
Right, come on and talk us through what you're thinking as these penalties are taken.
Yeah, obviously hoping that Edwin produces a save, and yeah, it's obvious, but you know, we make sure that we put pressure on them and just keep scoring ours. And then, as it's coming to it, you start thinking about your own penalty and making sure that you do the right thing. But it's nerve-wracking. I mean, we practice. I always say, leading up to that, leading up to this, Carlos Queiroz did a really good job. Here's Ronnie missing, which was very surprising because, like I say, his track record up until then, and in pressure moments, he'd delivered. So it was a big surprise when he did miss.
Was that traditional for him to stop for that long?
Yeah, he did that. He did that before, but
in slow motion it seems just so long, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the confidence that sort of player has.
There's Frank just getting it past the goalkeeper.
Owen, best penalty.
Bang.
That was the best penalty out of the lot.
So you're thinking what now?
Yeah, I mean, Nani got away with that one. No, I'm thinking at this point it's gone.
And there it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's seconds from thinking it's gone to your mindset changing straight away. Hold on, this is our night. But when you've got one penalty, it goes in, you've lost the Champions League, you are thinking it's gone. And one of them things, obviously, it was great for us to see the miss, and then it's about getting concentration. Actually, Ando was never one to score goals, but he never missed in that week when we practiced. Yeah, and he had that confidence.
So did you feel confident as he stepped up?
I felt confident, yeah.
Here he is. Here he is. Pouring with rain, huge pressure.
Yeah.
Chance to do something special for the club you love.
Yeah, it's not a nice walk.
Is it not?
No, you got your legs feel like lead, and all you've got to do is remember what you practice. Because in my experience, people miss penalties because they change their mind.
So at what point did you decide to go to the goalkeeper's left?
That's what I did all week. So I took 15 penalties that week. I scored 14, and the one that I missed hit the post. So I knew exactly what side I was going to go out. I knew the technique, and it was just about sticking to that.
And was that so that seed of doubt, that conversation in your head of where am I going to go was removed? You'd already made the decision 6 or 7 days before to take that away?
Yeah. And it was Carlos Queiroz, really, the coach, who we're going to practice it. We're going to try and recreate, which he can't. But that walk, we try to recreate the walk at training, and he said just pick a side and don't change that side. So, of course, if you missed 3 or 4 on the trot, then maybe you will. But I scored, let's say, 14 out of 15. So I felt confident in whereas I knew where I was going to put it. It was then just about execution.
And how sort of in the moment are you? Because it's kind of sensory overload, isn't it? You've got the rain, you've got the crowd, you've got your lads saying stuff, probably the Chelsea lads shouting stuff. And throughout all of that, you've got to kind of keep your focus on the penalty. Yeah,
my focus was just on head over the ball, making sure, because I think that my philosophy in taking a penalty was not what Cristiano does. Look, you just trust where you're going to put the ball, and if it's good enough, the goalkeeper can't save it. If it's along the floor, you see the penalties that are saved, they're there. Goalkeeper can't get down to that, or they can't, like Owens, can't get up there. So mine, I didn't trust my technique or ability enough to put it in the top corner. So mine was always low and hard. And that was all I was concentrating on. Making sure I don't turn, it's a bit like golf, making sure you don't turn your shoulder so you drag it, and keeping your head over the ball. So they were the only 2 things, keeping your shoulders straight and head over the ball. That's what I was thinking as I was walking up.
And what were you thinking as Nicolas Anelka walked up?
Yeah, I mean...
Because the pendulum had swung now.
Yeah, it had, and the pressure is on that if you do miss, you've lost. So it is a big pressure. It was a big pressure, obviously, with my penalty as well, because it's now sudden death, and there's no comeback. And
Did you have any mates in that Chelsea team?
no,
So was there any part of you that felt sorry for them at the full-time whistle?
no.
Not 1%?
No, because, you know, you're in a business to win, of course. John Terry, I've played against him a lot, someone who I respect. So, yeah, you don't want anyone to feel that, but no, all my emotions are winning the Champions League and enjoying it as much as I can.
And look at the emotions. I mean, remarkable. You'd done it in '99. How different did it feel to do it 9 years later?
Much different, and for that reason, really, you know, seeing the likes of Rooney and Ronaldo winning it for the first time, and the players who are winning it for the first time, really just buzzing off them, really, because you were there. I was there 8 or 9 years before, winning it for the first time, and it's an amazing feeling. So, really just buzzing off, knowing that how are they feeling, and just taking it a lot more in than I did the first time, because the first time I thought potentially there's going to be many more of these nights. So, coming towards the end of your career, you want to savour it a bit more.
There's Sir Alex enjoying the moment. Do you speak to him much these days?
Yeah, I do, and it was huge for Sir Alex because he always judged himself after winning so many Premier Leagues on the Champions League and winning Champions League. So, I think when he bought Nani in, bought Anderson in, then brought the likes of Rooney and Ronaldo, his sights were set on a night like this, making sure that we win the Champions League again.
There you are. Look at that. That's wonderful. What did Sir Alex say afterwards when you got back into the changing room? It was probably quite late by now, wasn't it? It was.
Oh yeah,
the time difference out there was
2 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. No, it was one of. Obviously, we won the league 10 days before, and I think he was just proud of the team that he'd put together, and we'd gone out and done it.
Love that. Did you get a night out?
We did, yeah. It wasn't in '99. It was. I didn't go to bed. With this one, slightly older, I think I only, like you said, by the time we got back to the hotel, it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I had a couple of drinks and celebrated, and then had a relatively early night compared to a lot of the other lads.
And a big one, of course, for Rio as well. He's often spoken about the fact that he felt at Manchester United, you know, with the likes of Bobby Charlton walking around, that you couldn't hold your head up as a Man United player till this trophy had been won by you. And he kind of felt this was the night that certainly he became a proper Man United level football player.
Yeah, and especially after you'd won a few Premier Leagues, the next step is the Champions League.
Yeah.
And that's where all the great players have won it and lifted the trophy and have got that on their CV. So I can fully understand that. And, you know, players like Vidic, Ferdinand, the players that they are, you want them to win Champions Leagues because they were world-class players, and at that stage of their career, they were the best in that position.
And by the way, Edwin van der Sar, crucial role in that team that doesn't get talked about enough, probably.
No, huge. He set the tone throughout the team, like so many good goalkeepers do. You know, he was that calming influence, relaxed, different from Schmeichel, who I'd played with, obviously. And, yeah, just never made a mistake and was just calm. And obviously produced the winning save for the penalty.
When you look back on your career, is it this night? Is it '99? Is it one of the Premier League wins? What is the moment you lay on the pillow at night and have a little smile and think, yeah, that was fun?
They all have different feelings. '99 was just because of the sheer shift of losing it 1-0 down, and then 2 minutes later you've won it. That's the best feeling I've ever had on a football pitch. But I savoured this one a lot more and tried to enjoy it a lot more because, you know, I was coming towards the end and I was more experienced, and you just have a better feeling, and just enjoying the lads do this because you know how they feel winning it for the first time.
Where's your shirt from that final?
Oh, good question. I've never been one to save memorabilia. I think it's actually in the United Museum where a lot of my stuff is.
It's a decent brag, that, to be fair. Listen, it's been a pleasure to sit and watch that with you.
No, it's been good to watch it back.